Hello class, welcome. Today we'll be talking about spinal reflexes. First, some context. How is the nervous system divided? The nervous system is divided into two parts. The somatic nervous system is a nervous system of nerves that connects your brain to your voluntary skeletal muscles and allows for conscious movement. Examples: throwing a ball, picking up a mini monkey, jumping off a cliff, for fun, etc. The autonomic nervous system is the other half of the nervous system which controls involuntary movement. Examples: digestion, unconsciously crying in your sleep, salivating at a banana, etc. The spinal cord. As you can see, I've annotated a diagram of what a spinal cord may look like in a very simplistic manner in the top right. What is the spinal cord? The spinal cord is a cord of nerve tissue that is enclosed by the spinal canal. The spinal cord is part of the central nervous system, and it is what connects your brain to the rest of your body by sending sensory information received by the peripheral nervous system up to the sensory cortex in the brain. Just as a quick reminder, the peripheral nervous system is the part of the nervous system that is not the brain and spinal cord. The spinal reflex. This is our main topic today. The spinal reflex is a function that is carried out independently from the brain. The spinal cord is phylogenetically older than the brain and carries out some functions that the organism needs most. As you can see, stimulus results in reaction. What is a reflex? Put simply, a reflex is a response to a stimulus. Monkey sees banana. Stimulus. Monkey grabs banana. Response. Relatable for some. The spinal The spinal reflex is simply a response to a stimulus carried out by the spinal cord. What is a synapse? A synapse is a small gap between neurons that allows for communication of a signal between neurons. Types of spinal reflexes. Monosynaptic reflex. A monosynaptic reflex is a reflex which is carried out by a direct single synapse. In other words, no intermediate neuron is present. Polysynaptic reflex. A polysynaptic reflex is a reflex in which interneurons are used to create multiple synaptic connections. Examples of spinal reflexes. A stretch reflex is a monosynaptic reflex that allows for automatic regulation of muscle length. The Golgi tendon reflex. Cool name. This is a reflex that is automatically carried out during the reflex arc of the peripheral nervous system. It is done in order to relax the muscle. This reflex is polysynaptic. The crossed extensor reflex is a withdraw reflex. Examples: stepping on something sharp and quickly pulling your foot away. This is also a polysynaptic pathway. Quiz time. I know this may be nerve-wracking for some of you, but remember, in the end, it doesn't really matter. So don't be too nervous. True or false? A polysynaptic signal only travels through one synapse. I'll give you around 10 seconds to think about this. False. Polysynaptic means multiple synapses. Mono means one. Poly means multiple. Remember that because it can be useful when looking at scientific words. True or false? Our next question. Throwing yourself into a chasm after it all becomes all too much is an example of a voluntary movement. I'll give you around 10 seconds to make up your mind on which it should be. True. That is definitely a voluntary movement, and it is one which would be controlled by the somatic nervous system. As a little side note. Our last question. True or false? The spinal cord is considered to be part of the brain by most intelligent people. I will give you around 10 seconds to think about this. False. Remember that. That is not true. The brain and the spine together make up the central nervous system. However, they are not the same thing. At least from a scientific point of view. Thank you, class. I hope you're having a good morning, evening, dusk, noon, midday, wherever you may be in your day in life. I hope you're having a good time. I will see you all on the other side. Thank you very much for listening.